It was a scary experience. Never been through anything like that.
One tornado after another in eastern North Carolina.
It was just horrific. Everything was twisting around. Bricks were falling down.
Oh my gosh.
A middle school, Pfizer plant, a daycare, dozens of homes and businesses destroyed in storms.
I don't really know how I feel when you see this disaster like this.
But is Highway 301 becoming a new tornado alley?
You're seeing a bit of an expansion of some of the tornadic areas overall.
We are seeing more tropical tornadoes. They're lasting longer on land.
The storms are one story. The cost to rebuild is another. But even if your home never gets hit, no one is going unscathed.
Obviously, it affects that area, but everybody across the state's going to feel it.
Severe weather is getting worse everywhere. To understand why and where we go from here, we're taking the story piece by piece. We are doing things a bit differently tonight. Welcome to a special edition of WRAL News at 7. The outbreak of tornadoes in eastern North Carolina is a pattern that is tough to ignore. But is it more than a pattern, or is this a new normal for a lot of folks? That is a story that we are telling piece by piece for the majority of this newscast tonight. If it seems like there have been more tornadoes and severe storms in eastern North Carolina, you're right. Just a few weeks ago, 3 EF1 tornadoes tore through Edgecombe County, the latest in an uncharacteristic string of terrifying and at times deadly severe weather to hit that part of the area. In April of 2019, during a record outbreak of tornadoes, 2 EF1s hit just north of Rocky Mount and spun through Nash and Edgecombe counties. A month later, another twister in Nash County, this time in EF2. Later that year, during Hurricane Dorian, another EF1 hit near downtown Wilson. Then, in July of 2023, a powerful EF3 tracked through Nash and Edgecombe County again, destroying 89 buildings and doing this to the Pfizer plant. The next summer, during Tropical Storm Debbie, another EF3, this time in Lucama in Wilson County, tearing up a school and killing a man in a collapsed home. The trend of powerful EF3s continued just a month and a half later, this time in Rocky Mount, tracking across Highway 301. That is 6 years of people losing homes, mourning, rebuilding, and fearing another storm. And in that time, we have revisited those communities to see what's been rebuilt and if the lives those storms upended have been repaired as well. It's our first piece of the puzzle. We want to tell the story of Alex Burgess. He lost his auto shop in Rocky Mount to a tornado back in August, and he was inside that shop at the time, a storm that threw him against a wall. He had broken ribs, a fractured spine, and torn ligaments. Recovery for him is on two fronts, his body and his livelihood. Burgess has a new shop now, and he's treating those injuries, but the healing process is just beginning. WRAL's Heidi Kirk went to Rocky Mount to check in to see how he's doing.
To lose everything at a drop of a dime that you've worked so hard for, you've put every dime that you had into something and you lose it all, and then you don't have no help behind it. It's tough, you know, because we still got families, we still got kids. I saw that light. When I hit the wall and my heart stopped, I could still see what's going on. So that's a different type of experience. When I took my first breath, when they took the stuff off of my chest, that's when I was in another spot. You got your family to think about that you will be leaving behind if you did leave here. Man, I got small kids and grown kids. I don't want to leave none of them. And that was the hardest thing in the hospital that I was thinking about.
I know you worked so hard for that first building.
Yes.
And now you're paying off another building.
Yes.
How does that feel?
Like I'm starting all over again. We have to make money build a little bit, make some more money, build a little bit.
Do you have any idea how much money you lost in this entire thing?
Over 80,000.
Hospital bills?
No, that's not even including the hospital bills. That's just what we had in the building with the cars and everything we lost.
80,000, and then your hospital bills on top of that.
And then the bills that we had to pay while we were still down, you're talking about 6 months of regular bills from the household, you know? That doesn't stop.
Describe the feeling that you have when a storm comes through now.
Kind of like a roller coaster. When you get to the top of the roller coaster, that little feeling that you feel when you drop, that's what I feel when a storm, I start shaking and that little tingling feeling in your body, and then you want to go somewhere where it's dark and be by yourself. Why is it all of a sudden attacking 301? I have no idea, but it's weird because each year is something else different. You're going with the flooding, with the hurricanes. Now the hurricanes are bringing the tornadoes that we can't explain, that we haven't been having on 301. All of a sudden now we got to reconstruct buildings, start lives over it.
Alex isn't wrong. That Highway 301 corridor has been hit hard recently. I mean, just look at this map. This shows the tornadoes over the last 5 years, and it is pretty striking, right? So is there something special about this area that seems to be attracting more tornadoes? For our next piece, let's add context. NC State's Climate Office has a really useful tool to break this down. It's an interactive map that shows all the tornadoes and all the reports across North Carolina between 1950 and 2024. There are hundreds of them over 74 years. As you can see, there's a whole lot of red in that southeastern region, meaning a whole lot of tornadoes. But when you adjust that to just the last 5 years, take a look. Compared to the rest of the state, eastern North Carolina doesn't really seem to stand out. So, what do we make of this uptick that we're feeling in the east? We wanted to know if any other counties had seen unusual outbreaks in the past, and it turns out Pasquotank County, way up in the northeast, has had a similar experience. In 1992, 3 tornadoes hit Pasquotank, one of them responsible for at least 27 injuries. In 1999, 2 more tornadoes, one in April, another in November. It started to look like a trend, but then things stayed quiet for about 15 years, when in April of 2014, 4 tornadoes touched down. But again, it got quiet, this time for 11 years. The last tornado hit in March of this year. The point is, a hyper-local outbreak doesn't equal a trend. So again, what do we chalk this up to in the east? Bad luck? The truth is, we don't know. So let's talk about what we do know. We've been throwing a lot of numbers at you, but this is one to remember. 9 versus 19. In 2019, we had 9 tornadoes during a specific time of year, hurricane season, where a trend is beginning to become more obvious. Hurricane season is producing more tornadoes almost every year, and by 2024, we went from 9 to 19. Think about that. More tornadoes associated with tropical systems, which are getting bigger and badder. After the break, we zoom out and get some expert insight to understand why. The U.S. is the tornado capital of the world by a long shot. No one else even comes close. A study out of Europe found that between 1950 and 2015, Germany saw about 1,000 tornadoes. Western Russia reported 685. The UK came in third with 437. The European Severe Storms Laboratory estimates about 300 to 400 tornadoes hit the continent of Europe every year. Meanwhile, the U.S. sees an average of 1,200, more than 3 times as many. Some studies will say that we get about 75% of the world's tornadoes, and those tornadoes may be on the move. Some scientists believe that Tornado Alley, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, may be shifting our way. In 2023, Scientific America created a map of tornado outbreaks. The yellow that you see there, that shows the outbreaks from 1950 to 1980. Then the section marked with those blue lines shows the movement east from 1980 to 2019, expanding into North and South Carolina. The U.S. is also near the top of the list for hurricanes. And while we're at it, pretty much everything else. Hail, thunderstorms, floods, wildfires, heat waves, droughts, and winter storms all hit the U.S. hard, and those hits are getting harder. NOAA has tracked billion-dollar disasters for decades. In the 1980s, we averaged 3 weather disasters a year. In the 2010s, that number jumped to 12. And from 2020 to 2024, we averaged more than 18. In 2023 alone, there were nearly 30. Now, this is the easiest to see and understand with hurricanes. They are staying stronger longer after making landfall, which is really changing the game for communities inland. Our mountains know this better than anyone. Hurricane Helene hit Florida as a Cat 4, but stayed strong after hitting land, despite taking a path that in the past would have downgraded that storm quickly. After hundreds of miles over land, it was still a tropical storm when it reached our mountains. The question is, why? For that, we turn to an expert, WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmouth. So, we are seeing severe weather get more severe. We're seeing storms get bigger and stronger and more damaging. Why is that?
So the main reason is because we have warmer temperatures. We have warmer oceans. Warmer temperatures, there's going to be more water vapor in the air molecules. And when you have that, you have more flood events. You have tropical systems lasting longer on land. They have more moisture to work with, so they're staying on land a lot longer. And it's just going to lead to more billion-dollar disasters, and we've seen that happen.
And when it comes to tropical weather, in terms of our coast, our state, when those big storms remain powerful as they move across land, they can generate more tornadoes, right? And we've seen that.
We are seeing more tropical tornadoes. They're lasting longer on land. So there's still these big, huge spinning systems on land a lot longer. And so they have more time to produce more tornadoes. And unfortunately, we've seen that here at home.
Is it as simple as warmer temperatures in the Atlantic, warmer temperatures in the Gulf as these storms are building up power and steam moving our way?
That's a huge player in this situation that we have. You have warmer oceans, you have warmer temperatures in general, and all of that warmth leads to so much more moisture in the air, and that is going to help create stronger systems. Helene came in from the Gulf. It went through Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I mean, it lasted forever, it seemed, on land. 15, 20 years ago, we just didn't see that happen very often.
Hearing news like this and these types of statistics, if I live in our area, what do I take from it?
Well, I mean, I think used to we would think we're far enough inland that we would have those every now and again huge hurricanes that impacted us, right? It didn't happen very often. It's going to happen more often, and so we have to be ready for that. The whole state of North Carolina, clearly, we saw that with Helene. The whole state has to be ready for a tropical system that's going to last much longer and have way more impacts inland than what we used to see. It's just happening a lot more frequently now.
Now, even after hearing that, some of you might be thinking, this doesn't affect you, at least not directly. Maybe you've never seen a tornado in your neighborhood. Your area doesn't flood. You cut down all the big trees near your home that might fall. And you even sprung for one of those top-of-the-line generators just in case the power goes out. Well, I've got some news for you. After the break, we look at the big picture and how one symptom of severe weather is coming for us all: insurance rates. You know what they say, follow the money. Over the last few decades, while politicians and Thanksgiving tables argued about the reality of climate change, insurance companies were listening to scientists and planning. They started back in the 90s, working with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and preparing for the future those scientists predicted. It's when they first started developing those catastrophe models that considered the risk of a changing climate. The changes were gradual for a while until Katrina. Insurers started making some serious changes then, reassessing how they cover coastal homes and flood-prone areas. Now, today, in the last few years, State Farm has stopped accepting home insurance applications in California because of the wildfires. Nationwide dropped policies in Virginia Beach, and Farmers Insurance pulled out of Florida. And it kind of makes sense why. Global insured losses hit $125 billion in 2023, then jumped to $146 billion in 2024, some of the highest losses in decades. Someone has to pay for all of that. Now, insurance companies can bail out of those high-risk areas, but they still want to get their money back, and that means raising rates on everyone. Last year in North Carolina, insurers wanted to increase rates over 2 years by 42% on average. When asked why, they said, quote, storms have gotten stronger and more damaging. More people are living in disaster-prone areas, and the state listened. The average increase went up 15% for everybody. The coast went up double that, and that Highway 301 corridor went up nearly 20%. As more of our state is considered disaster-prone, it's you who will be paying the difference. Now, we looked at many pieces of the puzzle tonight, but there are still a few missing, and that is where you come in. I want to know your thoughts. Please send me an email, dan@WRAL.com. What did we miss? What pieces do you want to know more about? Tell me what's on your mind, and we'll go in depth.